Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 2021 International Orientation. I'm Abby, one of the Global Ties mentors here at Pitt. Congratulations to you all for being accepted to the University of Pittsburgh. We are so excited to welcome you into our community, and we hope that you will have a great experience during your time at Pitt. Now, let's start the orientation.
Thank you, Abby, and hi everyone. I'm Havana, and I'm an international student from Taiwan. So today, Maria and I want to share with you all some of our struggles as international students, as well as some of our advice. I came to the US 3 years ago, back in my freshman year. For me, the key that helped with my transition process was confidence. So my first struggle was languages. I was really anxious talking to people because I was worried if others would laugh at my accent, fluency, or mistakes. But come on, we all know that learning languages is hard, especially if you're studying in college using your second or even third or fourth language. So I told myself, and I also want you all to know that you are talented, brave, and you are a badass. So other people shouldn't even laugh at you, right? Keeping this in mind really helps ease my nervousness whenever I talk to people. So please always feel confident about yourself. Second, identities. People may not be familiar with our cultural backgrounds, or they might have certain stereotypical assumptions about our cultures. Like, I never called out on people who made the wrong assumptions about me. I accepted whatever labels they put on me, and eventually I just stopped talking about my identities. Then I just felt so lost because I didn't know who I was anymore. And I want to tell you all that always and always be proud of your cultures and identities. The last one, fitting in. I remember I would laugh at jokes I didn't get so that people wouldn't think that I was hard to get along with. However, one day my friend called me out. I just felt so embarrassed. But then she said, you can always ask me if you don't understand something, right? Honestly, before that, I felt so exhausted pretending I knew what people were saying so that I could fit in. Then I just realized that there are actually people out there with whom you can just be yourself. So always, always, and always have faith in the future if you haven't met the people whom you vibe with yet. So yeah, that was my story, and I hope you all feel less nervous and more confident now. Now let's listen to Maria's story and her advice.
Thank you, Havana. So, hi everyone. My name is Maria, and I'm a rising sophomore here at Pitt. I am originally from Brazil, but I've been living in the US for 6 years now. So, since I've been here since high school, my biggest struggle was opening up just to meet new people and feel belonged and fitting in, just like she struggled with. I was very shy, and that definitely didn't make me confident enough to just go talk to people that spoke a different language than the one I did and that grew up in a different culture from mine. It took me a long time to adapt to the American culture and just the way of living here, and I felt really homesick and I struggled with fitting in. So, for me to overcome these issues, I really tried to get out of my comfort zone and I worked into finding friends and feeling well adapted at school. One thing that really worked for me, not only in high school, but also here at Pitt, was being a part of culture organizations that made me feel closer, not only to my own cultural background, but also it gave me a chance to meet people from different countries and backgrounds that sometimes were experiencing the same struggles that I was, and I didn't even know about it. So Pitt is becoming a more diverse school every year. And I think that it's really important for us as international students to find our place here on campus, whether it is with a friend group of people from your same country, or just exploring and meeting people that you otherwise would not have the chance to meet. So even though I know that saying this is way easier than doing it, my advice for you all is to really try to make the best out of your college years here in the US by meeting people and being open to new experiences, while of course always being proud of your own identity and your own culture. So that was a little bit about my story here at Pitt and in the US, and I'll pass it back to Abby.
Thank you, Maria and Havana, for sharing your stories. This is our Global Ties team, which is conducting the International Orientation today. Our team consists of 17 dedicated Pitt students who want to help international students like you, and our wonderful coordinator, Kyung Lee, who's an employee. Please contact us in the future if you ever come across any challenges while you're at Pitt. We are ready to help you solve problems relating to academics, housing, social life, and anything else. We are always here to support you. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Abby. Hi, my name is Wei Yi, and I am an international student from Wuhan, China. Before we start going into details about the things you should know about Pitt, I would like to give you an overview about our organization, Pitt Global Ties. We are a school organization dedicated to welcoming new international students into Pitt's community and fostering a true sense of belonging and inclusion. Some of you probably already got to know us through our mentorship program and pre-arrival support sessions over the summer. And of course, we're the ones who planned this orientation and the upcoming orientation events. We created those sessions and programs in order to make you feel supported and connected to Pitt prior to your arrival, since we understand that a lot of you may have concerns and anxiety due to the current events and the fact that you are coming to a foreign country. With that being said, our second goal is to support international students throughout their Pitt journey with our mentorship program, events, and career development opportunities, which my colleagues Amy and Elke will be going into details about that later on. We hope that your transition at Pitt is as smooth as possible with the fun and helpful events and experienced mentors by your side. Finally, we hope to promote culture and diversity by connecting international and domestic students through our culture exchange events. We know that a lot of times people would love to know more about people from other cultures, but they don't know how to approach them. Global Ties serves as a platform and a bridge between students from different cultures. Now I'm going to pass it on to Amy to talk about our mentorship program.
Hello everyone, my name is Amy. I'm also an international student from China. As Wei mentioned before, mentorship program is a major part of Global Ties. So I'll be giving you some of my experience, both being a mentor and a mentee. We offer mentorship program for all first-year international students. So students apply and get assigned with a GTN who will provide help, assistance, a company, and most importantly, friendship throughout your first year at Pitt. Most of the times, the friendship between you and your mentor will last beyond your career at Pitt. Being an international student myself, I was in the exact place as you are right now 2 years ago. Before coming to Pitt, I was so nervous for leaving home and start up on my own in a completely different country. I barely knew anyone and didn't know how to get around in Pittsburgh. This is when I went to the international orientation and got to know about Global Ties. All the mentors were so nice to me and they seemed so knowledgeable to me because they could answer almost all of my questions, whether they were about academic or about daily life problems. After orientation, I decided to apply for an assigned mentor. Then my mentor, Maya, who taught me about how to survive in American classrooms, definitely helped me to achieve better grades. She's local from Pittsburgh, so I also asked her for advice when I did my apartment hunting. We would meet up regularly during semester. She would check in with me and make sure I'm not troubled or confused in any aspects of my life. Or we just simply hang out, explore restaurants, or go to events together. Story continues. 1 year later, I became a mentor. Last year, in response to COVID, we assigned each incoming international student with a mentor instead of waiting for the students to apply. Therefore, every mentor had a long list of mentees, and the situation with the pandemic was complicated. However, we pulled through with the Global Ties teamwork. All the mentors have different advantages, and one thing we have in common is that we care for our mentees, for all the international students. So we shared information, helping each other out to make sure we do our best to assist you all. One thing I enjoy the most being a mentor is how this relationship goes both ways. I constantly learn about different cultures and perspectives from my mentees as well. Most of my mentees have lived in the US longer than I do, so they tell me a lot about things in the US, and I show them around Pittsburgh in return. If you're interested in our mentorship program, want to have an assigned mentor to you, the application link will be posted in Zoom after you finish watching this video. So look out for that when you come back to the Zoom room. Also, if you are not part of the mentorship program, that is totally fine, and you're still welcome and strongly recommended to attend Global Ties events, which will happen during the orientation weeks, also throughout the academic year. I believe my colleague Alkade and Tran will have more information about those later on. Please always feel free to reach out to any one of us anytime if you have questions or want to hang out. Again, welcome to Pitt. Next, I will pass it to Alkade.
Hi, everyone. My name is Alkade. I'm an international student from Auckland, New Zealand. So as Amy said, in addition to the mentoring program, we still have a variety of events and workshops open to everyone. When I was a freshman myself, I was welcomed to Pitt first by Global Ties. I enjoyed the event so much and made so many great friends that I applied to be a mentee, later on a mentor, and now I am the lead mentor at Global Ties. So about the events and workshops, in order to foster an environment where international students like you and I can be ourselves while adapting to the US culture, we welcome you to celebrate holidays and festivals with us, such as our Halloween party, Thanksgiving dinner, family weekends. We take you on location to places like Frick Mansion in Pittsburgh, Washington, DC, Salt Lake City, and Hawaii, to name a few. During the semester, we also have a lot of fun socializing events, such as tea tasting, dance parties, game nights, where you can make friends with people you wouldn't normally get the chance to talk to. Lastly, if you're searching for academic, professional, cultural opportunities, we host resume, fitting in, alumni workshops, and more to come. This is our biggest, most popular, most memorable event of each school year, Global Getaway. Each year we take around 100 students, American students, international and exchange students, on a camp retreat for a weekend. Experience a plethora of activities from low ropes, dance parties, drum circles, campfire, to cultural exchange discussions. Most students that talk to me later on claim that they were opened to completely different perspectives and met friends who they remain close contacts with years after the camp. Even for me myself, I enjoy Global Getaway as my favorite event, not just in Global Ties, but at the University of Pittsburgh in general. So I definitely recommend that you guys check us out. Shameless plug. Next, I'll pass it on to my colleague, Anthony.
Hello, everyone. My name is Anthony, and I'm a rising junior majoring in biological sciences and environmental studies. I'll be talking about in-person classes, and to give you an idea of how in-person classes differ from online classes, I'll share with you my personal experience with in-person classes. So the last time that I took in-person classes was in the spring semester of my freshman year. Back then I took Chem Lab, and Chem Lab was different. I had a lot of fun doing all the different experiments and collecting data and getting to interact with my lab partner, instructor, as well as other classmates. And also just being able to visualize the chemistry concepts I get to learn in class. However, when school transitioned to remote learning, instead of doing the experiments myself, I had to watch pre-recorded videos of the lab instructor doing the experiments instead. The major difference I would say between in-person classes and online classes is that in-person classes tend to be more hands-on and would rely more heavily on group discussions. And that is my experience, and I'm sure yours will differ from mine, and you would just have to experience it yourself. Next, I'll pass it on to Madura.
Thank you, Anthony. So my name is Madura, and I am a rising senior this year, and I'm also a domestic student, so I'm from America. And I'm going to go over a brief overview of some of the characteristics of American classroom culture. Firstly, there are definitely more discussions and group-based activities, especially in your smaller and seminar-based classes. These discussion and group activities are also typically more common in humanities classes, and they tend to be more rare to see in STEM classes. Most of the classes that I have had that used discussions were my seminar classes, where we discuss different pieces of literature and our own writing in order to improve upon those skills. To ask questions in class, you may raise your hand and the professor can call on you. Although it is completely okay to ask questions in class, and it's even like a really good thing because professors like you more if you do that. But I was personally nervous to ask questions in big lecture classes with hundreds of people. So I usually ask questions for those classes during office hours, which are times when the professor is available in their own office space to ask questions or go over difficult material for clarifications. And this is outside of the lecture time. I also often ask TAs or teaching assistants who are students who have previously taken the course and done well. I usually ask them questions as well. As for eating and drinking in class, this will definitely depend on the COVID guidelines that the school will set in place for the fall. But in the past, drinking is typically okay, and eating is typically not advised. I personally always had coffee with me to stay awake during class. However, in science labs like the chemistry lab that Anthony talked about previously, eating and drinking is not permitted, and this is for your safety so you don't ingest any hazardous chemicals. If there is an instance where you need to leave class, whether to take a phone call or use the restroom, you can typically just leave if you are in a big lecture hall, since the professor can't really notice when their students leave if you're in a big lecture hall. But if you're in a small classroom, you should let the professor know that you're leaving just so that it doesn't seem abrupt. And when you're taking an exam, leaving the classroom is typically not permitted to maintain academic integrity. So you should ask your professor about their guidelines for this situation. You can typically talk briefly and quietly during class, especially if you need to clarify something with someone sitting next to you, but try not to talk about non-classroom related things too loudly and for too long.
Hi everyone, my name is Hattie and I'm a domestic student from Perryopolis, Pennsylvania. During your time as a student at Pitt, you'll use a variety of different learning platforms. Your class materials and important information about courses will likely be held on Canvas, where professors can post important documents, readings, and assignments. Canvas will also be very useful for communication. Many professors send out important class information through the messaging system on the website. In addition to Canvas, you'll also use your Pitt email to communicate with professors and students. One platform that many students use to connect with fellow classmates in their courses is called GroupMe, which provides a more personal way to connect with fellow students. In order to access your Pitt email and Canvas account, go to my.pitt.edu. On this website, you'll find direct links that allow you to access these services. Once you click into Canvas, you'll see a dashboard very similar to the one on the screen. Here you can see your upcoming assignments, notifications, and click into each individual course to find any needed information. I personally love to use Canvas because it creates a really helpful calendar with all of my assignment due dates and meetings already added in, which makes keeping track of my assignments much, much easier. Lastly, you'll need to access your Pitt email. In your email, you'll find two folders, one flagged as focused and one flagged as other. It's important to check both folders daily in order to keep track of any emails that you may receive from professors or the university itself. Your Pitt email easily allows you to contact your professors and connect with students personally. Now I'll pass it over to Susie.
My name is Susie, and I'm an international student from Wuhan, China, and I will be telling you about health resources for students here at Pitt. First, I have frequently utilized the Student Health Center by getting my free flu shot, as well as getting my annual health check. It was easy to schedule an appointment on the phone with the nurse, and all staff are super helpful and friendly. Next would be the Pitt Vaccine Clinic, as it offers free COVID vaccine, and it is also where I and many other students received our COVID vaccine. Lastly, it would be the University Counseling Center. I know that in some foreign countries, people often look down upon the idea of mental health, But that's not the case with Pitt. As an international student, I have personally used the counseling center when I was feeling depressed and homesick. And those counseling sessions and workshops have taught me how important it is to maintain a good mental health. Next, I'll pass it on to Karen.
Hi, everyone. My name is Karen, and I'm a domestic student from the US, and I'm a junior in the School of Nursing. So I'll be talking about some academic resources because if you want some extra help in a class, it might be intimidating to go straight to the teacher or the teaching assistant, the TA, for help. So Pitt has quite a few resources that you could use. The first of which is the Academic Resource Center. And all of these are free and pretty convenient to use. For the Academic Resource Center, it has a list of different classes. So on the website, you can go and check out if there's the class that you're struggling in. You can just make an appointment really simply. For the Writing Center, I've used that when I needed to have somebody look over my essay. And all I had to do was make an appointment. And when I went in person to my appointment, I believe it was like a previous professor who helped look over my essay and gave me a lot of helpful advice. So you could go to the Writing Center for any help with writing. It could be essays for classes or resumes. The Math Center is mainly for math classes. And so it's another resource that you can use if you're struggling with a concept or just need some help.
I'm going to talk about the Career Center. The Career Center acts as a place that prepares you for the real world and helps you ace professional tasks. You can get career development advice at the Career Center. I'm a business major student, so I'm a finance and marketing major, and I got a lot of advice from the Career Development Center, and they help me figure out what classes I should take, what majors and minors I can take. They also help you with editing your resumes and making them just more perfect, because resumes are the first thing that any company looks at or any recruiter looks at. So it's also great to have a good resume. You can also practice mock interviews at the Career Center. They prepare a very professional-like environment, and there's going to be somebody from the Career Center who's going to be asking you questions about the company, about your role as what you've done now and your experience. So it's a great way if you have an interview coming up and you just want to get some extra practice before that. You can also borrow formal clothes from the Career Center. The Career Center also provides you with quiet places for online interviews or meetings. In case you have a big interview coming up and are nervous about having a quiet environment or having good Wi-Fi network, you can always come to the Career Center and they would have a quiet place for you.
Hi everyone, my name is Danielle Ovisi Orlu and I am a junior at the university. I'm a domestic student, but I grew up in South Africa, so I spent a lot of time outside of the US. So we have so many different resources for students where we have enrichment programs, and these ones are specifically international themed. We have the Global Experiences Office, which is also known as the Study Abroad Office, that allows students to explore the many different options we have so that you can enrich your experiences here at Pitt with international travel or travel away from campus, whether it's for fun or research or for exploration. We also have really great funding. I will get to travel to Belgium and I'm really, really excited for it. And we had really great funding from both my department and from the Global Experiences Office. We also have the Global Hub, and it's a fun and engaging and collaborative space where students can learn more about different international programs, countries, and cultures. It is Pitt's International Welcome Center on campus, and they have so many great different programs, such as, international tea days. You can just go to the globally themed events. We also have the University Center for International Studies. We have 6 departments where students can explore their passions for global issues and topics through student organizations, like I mentioned, academic certificates, and advising. So I am in the European Studies Center, and I'm doing a transatlantic certificate where I can explore the different topics relating to all of the countries that touch the Atlantic Ocean. So we have residence life. We have so many different options to explore Pitt's campus, and the first one starts from where you're living. So we have 9 residence halls, right? That's where you'll be living, and we have ones for first years and we have ones for upperclassmen or transfer students as well. So the 9 residence halls are Brackenridge Hall, Bruce Hall, Forbes Hall, Holland Hall, Nordenberg, Sutherland, which is on upper campus, and Towers A, B, and C. We will also have a Pitt partner space, which is the Residence Inn on Bigelow. So each residence hall has a resident director or an RD to assist students with educational, recreational, or disciplinary issues. We have residence assistants who live on each floor in a residence hall. RAs are upperclassmen who help engage students, and they're eager to share their knowledge and experience of what it means to be on campus. Students will also have access to many on-campus and off-campus dining services. When I was a freshman, my resident assistant, or RA, was so helpful because I used to get really confused about the buses or where the academic buildings were, and they would always help me and always tell me where to go. So each residence hall comes equipped with laundry services, printing stations, student lounges or study lounges as well. And each room is fully furnished. Right now, we're still in the pandemic, so face coverings must be worn in all campus buildings and residence halls. Students need to fill out their vaccination disclosure forms prior to moving in, where you can state whether you're vaccinated, unvaccinated, or do not wish to disclose. Students who don't have proof of vaccination are required to present a negative COVID test and follow up with the quarantine and isolation guidelines that you have been informed of. The residence hall are fun and supportive and engaging creative spaces where you have the opportunities to explore your passions. So RSA, or the Resident Students Association, is one of the second largest student governance groups on campus. It's a student organization very similar to student government, if you've ever been in that, and it's the governing student body of the residence halls. And we play a critical role in making sure that the students feel seen and heard within the Department of Residence Life. So you can get involved through your hall councils, where you can focus on making each residence hall a place where you want to live, have the programs you want to have, and you will be under the leadership of an executive board where you can be part of it and become a true community. And I'm really excited because I was involved on my hall council, and now I am president of RSA. There are other ways to get involved on campus as well. In your residence hall that is not part of RSA, you have living learning communities such as LLCs, and they're specialized living environments where you can connect with students inside and outside with classroom experiences. You have the Creators and Consultants Group, the CGG, and this serves as the Big Ideas Group, who help create content for the Res Life social media departments and their Residence Life social channels as well. So they'll ask you questions, want to engage with you, and it's a really great time. The last way to get involved is the National Residence Hall Honorary, or NRHH. They are a leadership-based honorary committed to upholding the values of service and recognition in the residence halls community. And I will be passing it off to Kat.
Hi guys, I'm Kat, and today I'm going to be talking to you a bit about something I'm really passionate about, which is student organizations. Now, Pitt has over 600 student organizations, or student clubs. They're the same thing. We have religious organizations, we have sports organizations. Here you can see a picture of our Quidditch team practicing, yes, the sport from Harry Potter. We also have career and major focused organizations. We have a lot of professional societies. If you're interested in sort of like developing your career outside of the classroom, doing more interdisciplinary works or projects, that's something that you can do through student organizations. We also have music and dance organizations. A lot of those are cultural organizations. We also just have like random special interest clubs. Like I think we have like a coffee lovers club. We have like a club for literally anything that you could think about. And if there is a club that you want to join but you can't find, it's really easy to start a club of your own with just a few friends and a faculty sponsor. And I think student organizations are really important because outside of the learning that you do in the classroom, we also have the learning that you do through the Pitt community. For myself, I actually switched majors halfway through my college career, and I didn't know what I wanted my new major to be. So being able to try out different organizations, talk to people who had different majors, and see what they sort of did was a great way for me to help figure out where my passions lie and what I wanted to do. Now, of course, if you just want to do student organizations to meet friends, that's a great way not only international students, but a lot of domestic students worry coming in as freshmen, like, oh, how am I going to make friends? What if I don't like my roommate? And I think organizations are a great way to do that. I actually met my roommate of like 3 years now, I think, through my dance club. We didn't live in the same residence hall at all. We weren't in any of the same classes. And we're like really great roommates and really great friends now. And that was all because we were in the same dance club. You can see a lot of the clubs at the Student Activities Fair, which will be during Welcome Week, where all the organizations will have a table. You can talk to their representatives, maybe swipe some candy, and sort of figure out what that person's experience is, sort of what things each club does. If you're interested in more cultural organizations, you'll be able to interact with those more personally at the Global Carnival, which will be one of the options that you have for orientation events. So they're always looking for more people to get involved. So I really encourage you as freshmen to try to join at least one, because that's a big part of your experience.
Thank you, Kat. Hi, I'm Tran. I'm a junior majoring in marketing. And I'll be showing you guys how August will look like. For the first and second week of August, we already sent out emails about virtual mandatory orientation with time slots available for you guys to choose from. For the third and fourth week of August, we have both virtual and in-person international events. They're very fun events that you should join to meet new people and learn more about Pitt. These are the detailed events for the third and fourth week of August. When I was a freshman, one of the events that I loved the most was the city bus ride. I went to the tour with my dad, sat on the top of the bus, and really enjoyed the city view. And I also took a lot of good photos of the city. So mark up your calendar for these events, and I cannot wait to see you at those events. Now I'll pass it on to Kashif.
So if you want to stay updated with us and get to know about fun things that we're going to do, please follow us on Facebook and Instagram so you can stay updated and see what we're up to. You can also sign up for our mailing list on our website. And please email us at globalt@pitt.edu for any questions you have. At last, thank you so much for coming. We hope that today's presentation helped you learn more about attending school at Pitt. And now we're going to return to the live Zoom session for a question and answer round with the Global Ties mentor. Thank you so much.